Greetings, and what are we up to? Episode 16. It's quite an interesting 24 hours, really. It's funny how things have tied in. um, we know what we want, which is to be truly loved. That comes from a Facebook post, so I'm going to bring that into this as to how that happens. What else? Yes, quantum of conscience, talking about this reality, and I was thinking on the same lines. See it as a sushi bar, and you've got that conveyor belt, and there's all kinds of temptations to get our attention. I mean, even this is actually irrelevant, really. I'll come back to that because that also ties into this. And the inspiration of this video is toothache, an abscess here. Well, was. Started about midnight, and it's like, well, yeah, could probably find a dentist, do it through the system way. But my first question is going to be, well, what are the ingredients in whatever you're going to inject into my gum to numb it? What are they? And then I want to look into what those ingredients are and what's the long-term effect of it. So no, let's go with thought manifestation on this one, and it's gone from those like red hot poker type needle sensations with the nerves. It's that downward sort of the first of the sort of chewing teeth with the downward root. It's the root of the problem we're trying to get to. But what I found, I sort of laid on my side. I think if I'd have laid on my back, I'd have probably drowned because the saliva. It's incredible. When I laid on this side, the pain came back. Then when I switched to this side, and this saliva's still building up, and it surrounded the whole area of the gum and actually took the pain away. Plus, I'm thinking and manifesting, feeling what it's like once that pain is gone, and because I've manifested this. This is where, like Matt on Quantum of Conscience has called this breadcrumb trail for truth seeking that we pick up on. So one of the things I've done is looked into mercury and fillings and things, and of course now my mind's it's got my attention to thinking, well, the gases that are coming off the mercury, the long-term effect, as Matt called the paper cuts, because it's a long, slow, painful process. So yeah, it's interesting, the saliva, the build-up, and how the pain went. I'm no expert. I'm not giving health advice here. I must point out. I'm just explaining my experience of it and how it's left me feeling. And I mean, it was interesting when the pain got quite strong at one point, and it felt like there's two different hemispheres of the brain going on, and I found myself doing this or sort of like that, and then I started thinking about sun eye and moon eye, and then of course I'm sort of massaging the third eye at the same time without even thinking about it. And this is the thing, I mean, we can talk endlessly about all the harmful things, but I'm just at the entry level. I'm still in crawler gear. I'm not even in first gear yet with this. This is all in many ways new to me in thinking of how thought is creation. So if we're going to focus on all this truth-seeking side, the 5G, how harmful it is, the electromagnetic fields, vaccines, processed food, everything and anything. We're manifesting that with our thoughts. This is just a thought exercise. All of this video, really, it's going to seem maybe a little bit disjointed in places. I observed the moon last night. It was like driving in daylight. It was massive. It was low in the sky. There's been talk and observations of with the eclipses that the sun and the moon are like two disks that interchange or swap positions. Well, what if the polarity is switched? So, if we're talking in terms of seasons, for example, and the rotations, the sun and the moon, maybe this one will be moving slow and very seem to be very hot and giving out hot light or good light that encourages growing. The other one is going around really fast, cooling down, and it's giving off a cold light, a false light. Um, and then maybe they swap places, and the one has got so hot, and then it does a like a cooling down system, pretty much in a way that the water system will circulate around a car and cool the engine down. Just an idea, because if things are supposed to be kept in balance, well, that it sort of makes sense. If you see where I'm going with this, it's just random thoughts that have been coming to me. Big thank you for the couple of donations I've had. Again, this is thought manifestation on my part. Um, this phone is pretty much on its last legs. It seems to be locked onto a specific SIM card. Even when I take the SIM card out, reset the phone, give myself all those frustrations having to verify my identity when I want to, and put in passwords again every time I want to reinstall an app on the phone, and all designed to be awkward and stressful, and then internet being intermittent at times. It's I did have to laugh when I was listening to Matt explaining about this um, telephone company. What's the name? Com Com something. But it's like an analogy and of mock, um, and it sort of creates a mockery, like the automated thing saying, "Would you like a call back before 7?" And of course the thing calls back, and then the engineer says, "We're not open until 7." So it's so ridiculous, and it's all designed to frustrate and distract, but in a way funny. It's a bit like in the UK. Um, we're vessels, so anything to do with Department of Work and Pensions, they put you on hold. And of course, what better to play than Handel's water music while you wait? For a long time, your call is important to us, you're 500th in the queue. Estimated time, 4 hours. Would you like to stay online? We're doing our very best for you. Yeah, right. It's hilarious. It's a joke in a way, isn't it? Um, I think one of the where you're put on hold. I think I seem to remember it's Mozart's Jupiter Symphony as well. And the joke is not lost on me. I see the sickness of the joke, and sorry, it doesn't work. I sort of do find it funny, the dark humour sides, but yeah, I know it's meant to be at my expense and everybody else, and it is all designed to frustrate and keep us distracted. So anyway, so how do we find this feeling of being truly loved, to answer a Facebook post, because that dovetails into this. Well, again, it's thought manifestation. You don't manifest your ideal partner. The magnetic energy will bring you and that other person together. This came out in a conversation I had yesterday, and the timing of that is perfect, because it is, you manifest living in that feeling of now, of experiencing that feeling of being loved, and it happens. What we're really doing, you strip away all these distractions that are trying to get our attention, this loosing of our soul tokens distracting us, and we're manifesting all the things we don't want to manifest into this reality. Um, every time you cuss on 666, you're basically cussing on yourself, because we are six protons, six neutrons, six electrons in this physical avatar, this biological vessel. But yeah, I think it is really down to I'm seeing it more and more. How far can we go with this? I'd like you to try it as well. Just let go of it all. Um, yeah, be aware of what's happening, but just treat it as an armchair passing interest, really. Fear feeds on fear. It's the negative magnetics. Energy, after all. It's got 3 points to it. It's positive, neutral, and negative. Um, just flip the polarity on it. So the toothache has turned into something more because it's like, no, I'm in control of this. And the pain receptors, my brain is decoding that as pain to tell me there's something wrong there. So, but my body's dealt with it because it's produced the saliva to take that stabbing sort of pain. I don't want to focus on that. You all know what it's like at the agony of toothache, and come under control really easily. Now this also ties into something I was told, and I can see the sense of this, and I'm putting this into practice as well because I'm feeling and visualizing that tooth gone because it's only been held by the nerves anyway. Um, and it'll happen, and it might take a little while. Let nature take its course. It's all about surrendering in a way. This, I want to call it the 10% male ego brain. Let the sleeping creator inside have an experience. Let's do something reciprocal. Isn't that what unconditional love is? The story. It makes sense that this creator, this source. I'm not going to give it a gender because I don't think it has one. It's both and it's nothing. Um, so like was it 19 seasons of the moon, and if it comes out to 20, well, it's the sum of two. So two lights, a cold light and a hot light. Um, but even sleeping, I don't need. I could sleep. When do I sleep? When my body tells me to. When do I eat? When my body tells me to. It's this doesn't need to even give that a thought. Everything else functions perfectly well with the body. It'll sort itself out. I just let it do its own thing. I'm certainly not going to project thoughts of what if I've got this, what if I got that. All things that are the worry and fear of a thing will actually manifest it into the physical reality. I've seen that from both sides, and I can only talk from my experience of this, which I can also see the sense you don't manifest your love of your life, your the other soul that you're going to be perfectly happy with. That they will just come. And this would be the positive magnetics drawing you to that other person, this other soul. Um, Matt on Quantum of Conscience spoke of how the term human being is a system term. Well, let's just say man. I am man, regardless of whether you're in a male or female form. It's so simple. Um, we use it anyway. It's to me, it's showing both anyway. The M for Magdalene, A for alpha male, an N for Lord, like the capital letter rises, falls, moving to the right and rises again. I'm talking about you again. The letter U, it descends and then moves to the right and comes up again. Uh, Fun enough, when it's in stone on a lot of the inscriptions, they say they can't do. It's easier to do a V, which is pointing downwards, um, bringing you more into a solid reality. I would say with that, it's an analogy, allegorical reference, a subconscious reference that we then create even from that. It's I can also see when I think it was Paul Black Sheep Researcher Channel was talking about the circle and the dot, and that's basically, isn't that an atom? Isn't that etymology? And I was even thinking it's an A with etymology to etymology. The atom, atom, all is atom. So the A now becomes an R sound. So ratomology. Um, things are all back to front in this reality. So when you think about it, L, um, angel, angel, um, we're maybe fallen angels in this reality is a way of looking at us. As I said before, you take the L away and rearrange the letters, you've got gain. You've got everything to gain. I mean, what is L in this sense? Collectively, we can manifest it into the depictions of Satan or Lucifer. But again, that's going to come from thought. If that's where you want to manifest in, carry on, because, nah. Um, but the L, it's not a right angle. Doesn't really appear in nature. They're normally flowing curves. Going back to the sun and moon, if you take, I mean, picture it like the azimuthal equidistant plan of Earth, and then if you were to pinpoint these eclipses, solar and lunar eclipses, with these two light sources, I'd think it would turn out pretty much like these natal charts, these birth charts, because they're basically a circle, and you've got triangles and bits on there that are leading to different houses, and it also looks like a clock, a timepiece, because you've got the 12 segments, like the 12 numbers on a clock face. And of course, you've got 13 with the centre point of it all, which is yourself. So I wouldn't even bother with any more of this silly script illusions, really, apart from seeing them as an armchair hobby. There is the aspect, yes, of looking in the past to see what's happening, but it's in this reality that we create in our mind. I, I'm getting so many little signs of this. It's wonderful, and I suppose an expansion of awareness of feeling energy from plants and things. I mean, there's some on the windowsill looked pretty dismal, and I thought, yeah, they need water badly. Visually, they're not looking right, and but energetically as well, they weren't looking right. So I thought I need to address this. So anyway, thank you for those donations, because perfect timing. I can sort out these left channel speaker only with the recording. I don't know why this phone records in mono. Um, it's too many problems, but I don't know. I'll be able to sell it for spares or repairs. It's still going to serve me. It served me well. I mean, I've had it since what, 2014. So I'll just get a second hand one and hopefully clear all the microphone issues, and we'll be sort of back in business in stereo. um, so you get to hear me twice, effectively. Anyway, so it's just a few sort of random thoughts I wanted to sort of tie together, and I couldn't help but see the synchronicity with the conversation I had with a friend, and the Facebook post. My friend Anachel, some of you who are, you may be a mutual friend, but it's a very inspired posts, and this is actually is a wonderful reality, and I think if we're gonna, let's just pass over and sort of pay back. If this creator has not left anything for itself to have a experience except through us, well, wouldn't it be a nice gesture for us to sort of hand over the control, as it were, so this creator can have a share of, it obviously wants to go through the experience, so let it, and just make just let the experiences flow, I would say. I think that's the answer. Just happened to see 1933 come up on the it's funny with these number sequences. I just say thank you to that. Oh, and 1944 as well. It was often the 44s. It's phenomenal how all these things tie in, but if we can detach, as Matt would put it, if we cut the ties with this reality in as many ways as we can, and we go within and pull out. This is what I've done today. I've spent the day dispelling the pain and putting the thoughts into actually manifesting, and self healing. It's I just don't knock it until you've tried it. I'm just coming from experience. I will say, I did say I was going to talk about this journey I did. Um, some of you didn't get it when I said Iowa and Alaska. It was just a play on words of ayahuasca, which really is going within. And wow, I wish I'd have just let go. But I wanted to sort of just stop to be the journalist to report back, to my own expense. I have to do this again now. But it's it is mind blowing. It really, I can see even from the outside, it is this reality. It's, you think about it with the computer system. It works on the binary 1 and 0. You can see there you've got the egg and the seed. Um, Obviously, just like the seed, it finds its way in, finds a way through into the egg, and creation starts. That magical moment where two becomes one. Um, what the seed with the sort of operating system, and the organic with the egg. It's wonderful, and can't help also but see the dome of the roof of the mouth, and the heavens being above, and the sleeping creator within all of us. And I think it'd be a nice gesture to say, well, you want the experience, but you haven't left anything for yourself, so I'll freely give you this vessel to have an experience, and I trust in your judgment of where you take me. Um, the mindset changes, the feeling changes straight away with this. It's a offloading of the weight of the world, as it were, on the shoulders, straight away. Doesn't matter what goes on out there. It really doesn't. It ain't coming in my reality. It's simple as that. Um, I don't need to dismantle it any further and analyze it and try and find that spark of creation. It's enough for me to know it's there, and start to gain this full experience, so we can basically just talk to the trees, in whether it's be telepathy, to be able to talk and communicate and interact properly with nature the way it seems that we were intended to do with this experience, and make this experience a really good one instead of a bad one. We can only do that for ourselves. At the end of the day, I can only give you my experience, and you take as much or as little as you want of it. Anyway, I'm waffling now. I'm going to upload this, and maybe start hunting for this replacement phone, which I've visualised holding in my hand already, so it's going to come. I'll let you know about the toothache, how that goes. If I can't do these things myself, I can't be an authority on of experience of something. So, see, even the toothache has now been transmuted into a positive experience, because it's allowed the body to heal itself. I'm under no illusions that it's gone. But when you think about it, even in this reality, why is it you see pictures in the 19th century of tribal people with perfect white teeth? And maybe it's the processed food and all the sugars and things. And through my own ignorance, I've brought that upon myself, because I never looked into anything. I took somebody else's word for it. But in doing so, I've also helped manifest and create that reality. There's that fine line between light and dark coming out again. But I feel good, I feel happy, I feel very positive, and I'm gonna just keep going with this. And it's still the crawler gear. We're trying to get into first gear soon. We're not try. We will get into first gear. That that will come. Remember, there is only now, and now is one. In this backward reality, it's always there in the words every time. It's doesn't matter if my theory on them being glyphs is right, or my hypothesis on the shape of the letters being glyphs and casting spells. It to me it answers things, and it opens up in ways I can hopefully explain it, and maybe it makes sense to other people. Anyway, I have really waffled on now, 25:44. So yeah, good time to stop. So I'm going to say ta-ta for now, and there will be more um, videos as and when. Point of interest, that was a birthday present I did for my grandmother when she was 80 something. I can't even remember now. All the places, houses she'd lived in, and I put it all in a frame. I thought something sort of a bit more personal. So sits here. Nice reminder of wonderful experiences of this reality. They're the ones to hang on to, and they're the ones to build upon. So ta-ta for now.